Okay. It's going to be a long night. Okay, good evening, gentlemen. How's everyone doing?
Well, and you.
Lekker.
Lekker man, lekker.
Okay, so you guys requested a larger fly. Okay, we're going to tie a basic baitfish pattern, but with a slight little tweak. I saw something the other day from one of the competitive oaks where he did his baitfish patterns, and I found it quite interesting. We're actually going to turn this fly upside down without the use of lead or dumbbells. We're going to use a single bead to actually turn it completely upside down. So how many of you have recalled tying jig flies using mono and beads on a standard shape hook? Okay, we're going to use that same principle, okay? Now obviously using a larger fly, this is a Gamakatsu Beaten size 2. So I'm just going to chuck in a size 4.8mm silver bead, just something nice and heavy. Because generally if you're fishing, let's say dumbbells for largies, they are quite weighty. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some 30-pound mono, get in there. Nope. I do everything the other way around.
Which way did you put the bead on?
Put the mono through the small hole first. That's another thing, but I'll keep quiet. For a reason.
It's massive crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm cocking it up, that's why I'm not showing it. Do you mind?
I don't have the other camera, so try and put it in front of the hook eye.
Okay, I'm actually going to double it over so I can see.
It's another little trick, yeah.
Yep.
We'll just get 40 pounds.
Don't have, that's why I'm doubling it over. I got 60 pounds. This stuff can burn your finger quite nasty. Okay, cool beads. Got that bead on now.
It is.
Now that we got our bead on our mono, generally when you tie like bigger soda flies, I don't know if you guys tie with like 140 denier. 70 denier is good, but I prefer tying with 140. I can get away with less wraps and I can still put a little bit more pressure on it. So just start here. Okay, and then I'm going to need the bead.
That's one.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to tie this down. You'll also be able to get your tippet through the eye here, it's no stress, and put it over the eye, no problem. So you can see there, you've got enough space to work around there. You shove your tippet, for example, cut the excess off here. Now you won't be fishing 30-pound for larges. As you can see, you just move the bead out the way you can get your tippet. Okay.
Can you put in a weed guard in there now as well?
You can put a weed guard, but because this thing is swimming upside down, it's not required. Honestly, all my larger flies, if I get a weed guard on it, I chop it off. I don't like weed guards. I've lost too many fish due to weed guards. It's my personal preference. Don't touch weed guards, me personally. If you want a different type of weed guard, it's more like a rock guard. What you do is you make a loop of mono in front of the fly. And what you can do is you just make a small loop of mono. And then if you want to weight the fly down, you take split shot and you crimp it onto the mono. And it keeps the fly running down like that and it bumps off the rocks with the mono. Okay. But other than that, I want nothing obstructing on the point of my hook. Nothing at all. Because you'll be sitting the whole day and you'll do 2,000, 3,000 casts and you get one take. And because of a weed guard, that take is not connected. So I'd rather lose 5 flies a day than lose that one fish. And that one fish can be in excess of 15 pounds. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take Zonka. Keep it natural. Your greys, blacks, olives, things like that. We're trying to mimic mosquito fish, baby mudfish, baby yellows, things like that, okay?
And the next couple
You'll see now. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a brief, let's say, measurement here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke that on. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. Keep that out of the way because you're not done yet. Now, little trick, little hot spots you can put on your large flies. What color is the vole generally?
Dirty.
Dirty.
brown.
Okay. What two colors work very well in dirty water? Just think about it carefully.
Black.
Black and chartreuse. The two of them combined work very, very well. If you go to trout them and you're fishing peated colored water, chartreuse works very well. Chartreuse beads, chartreuse tags. And just for little giggles, I'm going to put a bit of chartreuse mink in here. Small little
Paddy's
tags.
Day, man.
Yeah, because supporting St. Patrick's. So a little bit of green in the mix. Okay, just going to tie that down, fur facing up. Just think about it. You're going to put your zonka on, and this is swimming upside down. So you don't want the leather showing. You want the fur to be there. So the two leathers are actually going to be parallel to each other. Okay, so you tie that down nicely. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a split thread. We're going to put some dubbing. I'm using Polar Dub. The new name for this is Senio's Laser Dub. Brilliant, brilliant dubbing for baitfish patterns. You can stack it, you can dubbing loop with it, make some incredible, incredible patterns, and you can trim it and it takes your shape very nicely. Offers a lot of movement and not too much flash. A lot of the times largies don't like flash. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab quite a bit of this, and you can see it's nice and long fiber, so you can actually stack with it quite nicely. Okay. Let's put that there.
What did the double do?
Yeah, you can, but I don't. It just creates too much bulk. Because if you think about it, river fish are nice and slender. Okay, mosquito fish nice and slender. Muddies, when they're juveniles, they're actually nice and slender. So if you create too much bulk, you can shoot yourself in the foot. It's slight little thing, slight little changes in your tying that go a long way. Because I think this is the first time I cut through it, I see there's this blunt.
Chinese import.
Japanese default. Okay, cool. Got it in now. Open up the loop nicely. Let's just get this dubbing in there. Okay, now we're going to spinning. Okay. Try and keep the zonka away from this, because if it spins into there, it's going to be a mission to undo it, okay? You can obviously, instead of putting the zonka through the hook, you can tie it down as well, but it's not going to look as nice. You're going to see now that there's going to be no thread tying it down. It's going to actually flow quite nicely with the fly, okay? It's the only reason why I put it through the hook. Same as the MSP. If you've tied an MSP before, you actually put it through the hook to pull it down, and it flows quite nicely with the fly. Okay, cool beans. There for a while. All we're going to do is just nice wrap
you keep them.
Now what we can do is just loosen it up. Then we can make another dummy loop because I didn't have enough fibers in there. But you can see, just by pulling out with my hand, you can see how long those fibers are, which is nice. So you can shape it up quite nicely. How's it?
God, how's it?
Come on. No problem about spinning that limit of thread. Cool. That's feeling a little bit better. What I'll do is I'll just make a quick dummy again. Just to get away with it. Be at the head. Fish or chubby at the cup anyway, so it's fine. Okay, just grab a little bit of dubbing. Might need a little bit more than that. Okay. Just wrap that up over there. Leave a little bit of space just behind the bead, just for the zonka, so you can finish off nice and neatly, so you're not covering up the eye or anything. Okay, gents. Okay. It's called a. Haven't you seen how many puffies are swimming around on the bowl? There's plenty. Okay, and now we're going to take the flower off the vase quickly, just to push that up. This is the beauty of a rotary vase. Okay, now what we're going to do is pick up as many fibers and push them to the sides and down. Okay, you see I'm like pulling and then push it down to the bottom of the flower. Okay, then try and get as close as possible. Yes, so then cover the eye. Thank you. Once that is tied down, you can finish that. This is where the cosmetics comes into. This is where even myself, I do actually mess it up quite a bit, because sometimes I get very excited that I'm trimming a lot of fibers and I don't remember about the shape that I want to create. But now before we do that, you want the natural zonka to be slightly longer than the mink, just a little bit longer. Now, let me show you a trick. When you have a nicely finished tail, it wiggles nicely. Take your zonka, just the leather itself, cut it at a V. Okay. Now look how nicely that will flow now. Okay. Now you got that over there. Now, time to brush a couple of fibers out. And use a cat brush, whatever you got to do, disposal. Okay. Try not to cut the mink. I've done it so many times. And trust me, you will feel very, very comfortable. Okay, now you got a tiny, slimline little bait fish. Now we're going to add some ice. My honest opinion, I don't know if it applies to largies and to trout. I think it does apply a little bit to trout. But when it comes to tigers, whenever I tie my clouses or whatever, I go oversized eyes for the bait fish on time. I honestly think if you look at bait fish, even if you look at the barbs that are in the tank there, according to their body size, their eyes are quite big. So in my honest opinion, bigger size eye can be a trigger. That's a personal opinion. I could be wrong, but I've had success with it up to now. So. Okay, this eye didn't come with nothing. Okay. One eye that side. We can put a bit of super glue on it, obviously. That side. And there's the tiny little bait fish that will work for largies, for trout, for bass. Work very, very well. Like that, it doesn't look like much. Once you turn it over upside down, how it's supposed to swim, looks pretty cool. When you push that through the water, nice and slim little bait fish, works very, very well. Obviously for trout, if you go fishing trout still waters, your olives will work very, very, very well. Blacks will work well. But then if you can get a color called golden brown or golden olive, it's almost like a slightish dull yellow. Works incredibly well because during winter the barbs that are in the still waters turn to a goldish tinge. Early season, let's say early winter season, they turn to a goldish color and they tend to retain that color during winter. So those are the colors you can work with, okay? But obviously,
a smaller hook for trout.
you can use a smaller hook, you can even use a size hook, it's no problem. It depends where you're fishing. But obviously your quality of zonka will make a huge difference. Like this is very, it's not as dense, it's very, very fine. So you see on the the tips over here, it's not as dense as if you had to take a section from over here. See what I'm saying? So you can select the zonka that you want to use for it, but make sure that it's nice and densish. But a lot of the times the thicker, let's say the more denser the fibers are, the wider and thicker the leather is going to be, and that can be a bit of an issue. Okay, you don't want the leather to be sticking out to the sides. As you can see over here, the dubbing did cover it quite nicely all around, more or less. It's just a little bit of a line there, but it's not too much. You don't want something shooting out to the side of it. But then if you have that zonka, then you can compensate with the extra dubbing that you put on, so you can make a thicker body. But these are like the baitfish patterns that I'm starting to actually more inclined to fish. They're more natural. So having a chat to Mark Gillen, then he rates that 90% of anglers that do go for largies are not fishing natural sizes or natural colors. Okay, they want to go and catch a largie on a bait fish that size. Yes, a largie will hit a 3 pound or 4 pound smallie, but it's not often. The yellow that's hitting that size kind of food will not eat for, let's say, another week or so. So if you're starting to fish a little bit smaller, more natural to what they are eating, in the sense of match the hatch, I'll rate that your catch rate might go slightly up. And smallies will hunt us down as well during the winter time.
The bigger ones.
Yeah. About 2 years ago, we went out to Algar Lodge and we pipped smallies, 4 kilograms smallies on our largie flies. So they will take your baitfish baits. Okay.
Okay.
That's the fly, gents. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lekker. Is the camera off?
Right.